Hello beautiful ones, and welcome to Shelter for My Soul. Welcome to my latest video. Glad to have you back, or welcome if it's your first time watching. I apologize that it's been so long in between videos, but I just had to wait for the right time. I really enjoyed the way the last video turned out, one in the two parts. That was kind of an introduction or overview on celebrity twin flames, and I've decided to continue in that format, and also in that subject matter. I feel most confident talking about the celebrity twin flame dynamics and things connected to that. That's my path. That's my circle. That's what I feel I have the most authority to talk about. As before, it will be my my thoughts and feelings based on my experiences, discussions with others, as well as some intuitive information. So just think of it again as we're in a circle. I have the talking stick, and it's just my turn to talk. And then I would love any feedback from you, either in the comments, or you can send a private message. However, you can send something by owl as well. A little scrolled note would be nice. I'm open to whatever. Telepathic message as well. So I'm yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm getting a bit excited. Maybe I need to put that down. Curious to see how this one turns out, because I had in mind what I wanted to discuss, but I'm also going to bring some cards in. I have spent some time working with the cards, so I have a fair idea, but there may be other information that needs to come in. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I have a few notes as well, and I'm really excited about talking about this. It's a huge issue, isn't it? And before I get into it, I'll just go back a little bit. So I'll be explaining things in quite simple terms. I don't necessarily agree on the terms and titles, but it's the ones that most people understand. So it's just easier for communication, and so I don't get too confused. So celebrity twin flame dynamic, what am I talking about? So that is a twin flame couple, most likely in separation, in 3D separation, but you know what I mean, where one is a celebrity and one is considered non-celebrity. I'll be referring to the divine masculine, the celebrity as the divine masculine, and the non-celebrity as divine feminine, which will be most of you watching. And I believe you know why I'm doing that. I don't think I kind of need to explain. And I'll be bringing in a new character, bringing in the Karmic, just the Karmic, just Karmic. And we all had a little shudder then when I said that. Again, I don't completely agree on that term, but what I mean by that is, it's most likely at this point in time the current partner or wife of the divine masculine. Just seems to be a very common scenario at this point in time, even though they have connected on a 5D level with their divine feminine, whatever level of awareness they have, that they're still in these abusive relationships with these individuals, with these characters, referred to across the twin flame world as karmics. And I think you know exactly what I mean by that. If you don't, you can message me about that. But I prefer just to call them abusive partners. They're in divine masculines seem to find themselves in abusive relationships, in abusive intimate relationships at this current point. And it's difficult, isn't it? It's very, very difficult to know how to deal with this and to navigate it. There may be some divine feminines who are in relationships. It can apply to you. Not all celebrity twin flames, divine masculines, are in these karmic relationships. Not all relationships are abusive. There's no reason why divine masculine can't have a soulmate or can't be in a loving relationship. It just tends to be the trend, isn't it? I think those who are drawn to watch this can relate to it. It's just a huge block for us, and it's just what I find really interesting is just how much energy and emphasis we put onto this particular person. You know, things as extreme as saying, I would be in 3D union, or we would be in 3D union, if it wasn't for this person, as though that's the only thing stopping you. That's quite a big thing to say. That's quite serious, and that's extremely fear-based. And it's. I mean, I have thought these things myself, but it's like, really? It's like, really, this person, you really think this person has that much power to stop a twin flame union? You really kind of think that little of your divine masculine, that he's just not doing anything about it, he's just gonna sit there, just sit there, just kind of just going with the flow along with this, regardless of his awareness that you're there, his twin flame, waiting to offer him everything he's ever wanted, and he's just, I don't know, blind to it or weak to it or whatever. It's, if you kind of feel that about your divine masculine, you really need to, they're a mirror, remember, you really need to think about what that says about you. And you also need to look at your environment and the people in your life. It may not be an intimate partner, but I can guarantee that this energy that this karmic embodies is around you, or is around you somewhere, or you can at least identify it. If you've been able to identify and defeat that, that's really amazing. But I mean, there may be several reasons why the karmic partner is in their lives. I'm just focusing on more that this person inhabits, that's just a word, that or channels this energy that is like their, I guess you could say like their final, the final thing they need to work through, or like their biggest challenge, or their Voldemort, and their nemesis. But it's not so, I just don't feel it's so much about a person. It's like there's no way that they can have more power than a twin flame. A karmic can have, or even equal power, they don't. And Voldemort, he's oh, I love Harry Potter. It's just, there's just so many things in that I can bring in. He's a shapeshifter. He takes any vessel he can, any means, and the karmic energy I kind of feel is the same. So yes, at the moment they are in your divine masculine's wife, basically. It's more they're your nemesis in a way, not that they have that much kind of power, that kind of power as you. Sorry. Yeah. See, kind of, yeah, my throat's getting a bit weird. It's like they don't want me talking about it. It's trying to trip me up. But or perhaps you do look at them as your nemesis. I kind of didn't quite think about that. It's like they know your weaknesses and they'll use any means. Yeah, the throat's going a bit. Just use any means. They'll find a way, and I feel that's it's the same energy. You have the same energy. Both of you are battling the same energy, but it's just that is what. For the divine feminines, that is what hurts the most. Is that someone else is pretty much, in their place, has usurped their position, their throne, and not only are they pretty much exactly where you want to be, where you yearn to be, where you've worked so hard to be, and is your divine right. In a relationship, married to your divine masculine. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? But they could even like have the same career as you and just all these things. There are some similarities. I think divine feminines and karmics have more in common perhaps than they realize. Because that is where it hurts the most. That is where it hurts us the most. So that is why that energy has inhabited that that body, that person. And it's not the person who has the power. They're just unfortunately they're just generally more low vibration, so they were open to it. Not saying that they shouldn't take any accountability or responsibility for their actions if there is definite abuse involved. But I think you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? And the best way to help our divine masculines with this, I'm just going to give this before I get into the cards. I will get into the cards. Is to look in our life, in our circle, who are our karmics. It doesn't have to be an intimate partner. It can be anyone who instead of focusing over there, who in our lives appears to be the biggest block and appears to have the biggest power over us, and just working through that. Just working through that, who or what. Maybe it's not a person, maybe it's in a situation, or I'm not sure. It can be different for everyone. Just it came to me, could be something like debt. It could be a physical kind of money's not physical. Anyway, you know what I mean. It could be like a physical thing. It could be physically stuck somewhere as well. But for some reason debt has come up. What is it that you feel is blocking you the most? And work on that, because it could be that could be what could be stopping you actually being in union. It may not be little wifey over there, but you working on that and clearing that, understanding that, identifying it, overcoming it, whatever you want to call it, it will help your divine masculine overcome his his barriers as well, to get to you. Right, I hope that made sense. So I've drawn cards here from the name's just completely gone out of my head. The Wild and Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Some of you may be familiar with this. I haven't used it in any videos before. I thought I had quite a lot to talk about, which it seems I do with the time getting on there. I just it just came to me, so I didn't question it, that I should draw a card to represent the three players here. Yeah, like an illustration, emphasizing the text. And I have spent some time getting messages from the cards, but more things may come in. But I just love how you just can't make this up. It's exactly. I may not even need to say anything. I think I'm just going to show the cards without saying anything. And I think for me, it was so many things are just obvious straight away. So that's the beautiful thing about these cards. I just love them. So yes, this one's gonna amuse everyone. So this is the card representing the Karmic. And yeah, I'll put this next to the Karmic. And here we have the Divine Masculine. Yeah. Yes. It says a million, there's a million words right in there, isn't there? And next to that, yeah, you don't need to see my face, the Divine Feminine. It paints a pretty picture, doesn't it? But okay, I'll just do this quickly. So initially, how did you feel when you saw this card? It's for me, it's mixed emotions. I mean, this is that's pretty much what this card can represent. Not necessarily mixed emotions, but it's a Jekyll and Hyde card, isn't it? So on one hand, I wanted to laugh because it was just so extremely spot on. Yeah, of all the cards, I was like, yeah, that is exactly. Just wanted to laugh at the absurdity at it, but at the same time, I think with the hyena, you know, there's that initial instinctual fear, that feeling of fear. It's you know, I don't need to tell you, hyenas in the cartoons especially, they're always the evil. They're the evil ones, aren't they? They're, you know, they're predators. Not only that, what do they, you know, what do they hunt or scavenge? And it's the gazelle, isn't it, on the plains of Africa. I mean, I love this card for the Divine Masculine. It is, again, it is so spot on. That's what they hunt. that's what they eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Now what's interesting, initially with the hawk, Divine Feminines, look. Do you see any similarities here? There's nothing. Like, what is the attraction? What is the attraction between these two? That's the $1 million question, isn't it? But anyway, just pop that one down for a moment. You have the same colors. It's the colors of your soul, of your passion. This is a passion and creativity. Just absolutely, it's like the sun you know, the sun is behind him there, and she's circling around that. Interesting though, both predators. Hawks are predators, they're birds of prey. Divine feminine, so what does that say? Well, predator's not a bad thing. You know, you have to survive. I feel it's very much about survival, and it's initially, like kind of way back when, I feel there may have been some similarities. I don't know if there's childhood or adolescent kind of similarities between you, but it's the paths that you chose. A lot is about choice. I mean, we have a divine path to follow that kind of wasn't our choice, but perhaps they do as well. But I really feel it's about what you needed to do to survive, and just feel with the hyena, the karmic here, just kind of much more I would say a lot more fear-based, a lot more kind of very base things. Not on Earth. This is actually fire as well, which is interesting. But it's like could have chosen that path, but they turned their back on it. Or perhaps decided to go about things a different way. This card, absolutely not. There are no negative cards. This card has come up for me in a reading I've done for myself. It can be about creative blockages. It can be about not going deep within when needed to. It can be just about things being very kind of surface based, putting up a mask, that sort of thing. So it's kind of living much more kind of unauthentic, kind of false life, but doing that because they feel that's what was needed to survive, and it's worked for them. Divine Feminines, you've been there, you've gone into some dark places, done some things perhaps you're not proud of, simply to survive as well, but you've been able to rise above it. You've transcended that, and no matter what, you just haven't been able to escape the passion within you. That's what has driven you. This energy doesn't really understand passion. It doesn't really understand creativity either. Interesting that they are married to an extremely artistic and creative person. Not only that, but someone who's extremely famous. Now, I'll just leave this one here. I just need to look at my notes up for a second, because I did want to focus on this a bit more. There's like so many things I kind of want to say. It's like where do I start? Where do I start? Yeah, the $1 million question. What is the attraction? What attracted this to this? I mean, or even in reverse, like, is it purely just predatory? I mean, seeing their victim wanting to use and abuse. It could be that simple. It totally could be. And I feel with karmics there are levels of their agendas and their motivations, and levels of levels of sinister that they can go into. it could be on a kind of more simple level. It could be that they see the divine masculine as the alpha male, and they just want a provider. They want a protector and provider. For them, that kind of base need. Because I feel they're very kind of in that realm, just about base needs being met, and that kind of what keeps them going. It's very much what they see in front of them, not going much deeper than that. They saw him. Oh, he's he's rich. He's rich. He seems like a decent guy. Will be a good father and a good husband, and it could be something like that. And that doesn't actually sound too bad, but it's not acknowledging who they are, you know, deeper than that. You know, this amazing soul. It's not acknowledging. It's not bringing anything deeper themselves into the relationship than they're perhaps a good wife and mother or whatever it is. I feel not sure about a good wife, but they can play the parts. They can completely play the part if they need to. They will totally be able to do that. I don't feel they're really that smart and calculated. They're quite sloppy and slip up a lot. I don't feel there's a lot of calculation there. It's more they just know how to play the game. They've learnt how to do what they need to do and say what they need to say, you know, these sorts of things. They can completely play that role if they need to. I do feel if children are involved, I do actually feel the Karmic is a good mother. May not always be the case, but generally that's what's coming up. Family's quite important to them, especially their own family. Like they're really kind of that pack mentality, like kind of move in a pack. They also can't handle being on their own. And where the divine masculine, I feel tends to be more solo, or perhaps he didn't come from a great family or had like a small family, and then he came across the Karmic who has this huge family that they're really close, and she wants to bring him into that environment and wants to start a family with him. And I feel that appealed to the divine masculine a lot. He kind of had an idea of what he wanted, and it's like, well, that's kind of close enough, but perhaps that's it, you know. It's close enough, so I can kind of make that work. Yeah, just a lot of huge emphasis on family. Actually, I'm picking up. I feel they come from like quite a traditional family, and they have a lot of things are just kind of done a certain way at certain times. You know, Christmas is a certain way, and we have to go to Aunt Susie's house, and it just kind of has to be done that way. A lot of like traditions, and even though no one really kind of knows why, but it's just you don't question that. And I think to divine masculine that was also appealing. I just feel a lot of divine masculines perhaps didn't have that, or to them that they were quite happy to go along with that. But it just seems very much, if they did have a connection to their family, they were kind of, it was more, the emphasis is more on the Karmic's family, and right, you know, we have to spend Christmas at my parents' house, and these sorts of things. Just it can be about just wanting to show them off, you know, but also could be to kind of isolate them from their pack. this, yeah, it's a very, very in your face energy, like just constantly around. It's like they didn't know what hit them when this came in. And there's something about them that appeared to be kind of persecuted. Perhaps they were actually persecuted. Perhaps that did actually happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen, for whatever reason, and that appealed to divine masculine and wanting to, because divine masculine, especially as an artist, is very against injustice. Or they could have had like a sob story, kind of something like that. But it's also, with this duality here, this Jekyll and Hyde, there's that, or they either appear to be completely in control, self-sufficient, kind of not really needy or anything, and maybe something about that that appealed to him, like, wow, they really got their shit together and really mature and adult, when I don't kind of feel it is. It's just so much about appearances, which makes me laugh when looking at the hyena. It's like it's about society, it's about the community. That they're also really, as well as family, I feel they're really into the community and wanting to portray an image to the community as what is expected. So a celebrity fits, slots right into that, and it's kind of all for appearance's sake as well. But they also think that's fine. I really don't think that they understand that there needs to be anything deeper than that. It could be that they have a lot of connections, and the divine masculine, despite his status, is quite shy. Perhaps doesn't have a lot of friends. Perhaps they're really socially awkward, and connecting with the karmic here is kind of pushed him out of his shell a little bit. Kind of, I can just see that, just wanting to show him off over and over to all sorts of people. That may not necessarily be a bad thing. But it's just so much about appearances, and that his achievements are their achievements, and they kind of want the status with doing minimal. They want status and rewards and awards with the minimal amount of effort. They just want to be like the face of it. They're someone who, like I said, they're just always in your face. People kind of know who they are. I see her everywhere. I see her name everywhere. She's just always there, but without putting any effort in. They're quite happy to sponge off the divine masculine here and say, well, I'm the wife, so it's my achievements as well. And yeah, the beautiful gazelle here, they do the legwork. Someone else does the legwork. They're the legs, aren't they? Just taking all the glory. Or time's getting on here. I wonder if this needs to be 2 parts. I think I'll do this in 2 parts. I will go up until I bring in the divine feminine, and then I think I'll do a second one. They may have, they're kind of famous for not famous, but kind of like, could be famous, like notorious perhaps, for not really doing anything. Like, people know their face and their name. They're like, oh yeah, that's so and so, and like, but like, what have they actually done? It's like pretty much nothing. I feel that some of them may be riding on success of like one achievement. Like it could be something something in the creative world as well. Don't know, like a one-hit wonder, or don't know. I'm seeing someone now, like it's 1989. I don't know why 1999, and it's Top of the Pops, and they're like a there's like a rave band. No disrespect, like one of those. Cause a lot of one-hit wonders, the kind of rave bands, but they're not like the band. They're like the backing dancer, or like the backing singer. They're like, yeah, I was on Top of the Pop once in 1989, and like they still talk about it. Like when they meet people, it's like within like a few minutes, that's what that's what comes into the conversation. Or they wrote like one book, and they're like suddenly like an author. You know, these kind of things. Just absolutely baffling. Like they can talk non-stop about about their one single that they got to number 9 in the charts. I bet you they couldn't name more than half a dozen songs that the DM has performed, or the chart positions. Not unless it's facts that that they can use, you know, to kind of impress people, but it's they just don't see this. They just don't see this light. Just do not see. They don't see it. They don't understand it. Just the beauty and the fire, and the passion. They don't understand passion. They don't understand doing things purely for the pleasure. They understand that you know, that their husband, you know, goes out and records songs, or makes movies, or whatever, and yeah, they're pretty neat. They're pretty neat, aren't they? But they don't really understand why they're doing it. You know, what is really behind that. They just think they're maybe clever at making money. You know, I haven't really talked too much about the financial aspect, but that could be completely one of the reasons that, you know, they want someone who has money to support them, so they can live the life they feel they're entitled to with the minimum amount of effort. You know, as far as survival goes, that's very common, especially for women, to feel that is the path they need to take. And the divine masculine might be quite happy to do that, to share his wealth with someone. There's a bit more I will say about them, but I'm going to do this in 2 parts because the time's getting on. It's kind of suddenly all coming to me. I'll look a bit more into their relationship, and then we'll hopefully bring in the beautiful hawk that is the divine feminine. So thank you for watching this one, and see you in the next one if you want to join me there. Take care.